Question 1223.
Yeah, we've
I'm
been here
waiting
a
for
long time,
Kaz.
haven't
Yes. What is the worst thing you have ever done to someone you consider a friend?
That's a
we?
difficult because I've got myriad of things.
Can I answer that one, please, first?
Sure.
I accidentally once pushed my best friend down a very tall flight of stairs, resulting in a hospital visit to A&E. That's just the first thing that came into my head. I've probably got better things, but, you know.
We'll come back to you. Go on, Peter.
Okay, this is going to be so. A friend of mine is a car mechanic, and his boss at the time, I wouldn't. I was friendly towards him. He wasn't actually a friend, but it's still the worst thing. So the guy had an Audi, and then
Audi.
yes, and then bought. And now he had a Mercedes, and then bought an
Look at
Audi.
this.
The Audi was better.
Sorry.
Better
I
than
thought
the Mercedes.
I
hold
thought
on,
you said. Wait. I thought you said an Audi. I thought you were talking about
no,
his
an
belly
Audi,
button.
Audi, a car.
Audi.
So the Audi, he said, was better than the Mercedes. It was
Look at that.
better engineered, and everything was better about the Audi. And so he put that thing in the garage to clean it and everything. And what we did is one night we went back there and we took out the driver's seat, took out the carpet, and we had a ball bearing about this big. And underneath the seat, there's this
Oh, you are evil.
cavity, and then we put the ball
you
bearing
fuck.
in there, and then put everything back together. The fun part is the next day he was going to go on holiday to Austria. And so while he was in the mountains, we have all those curved roads. The ball bearing was running back and forth underneath his seat. And he spent his entire vacation trying to figure out what the sound was. And he looked underneath the car. He looked underneath the hood. He looked everywhere except underneath his seat, which is probably the worst thing because he didn't have a vacation at all. He spent the entire time taking his car apart and putting it back together again to find out where the sound came from.
Did you have the advert for VW over there with the earring?
No, this was an evolution of what I did when I worked for Grolsch Beer. We had an obnoxious guy who had bought a Ford Fiesta, which was the best car ever, and he had hubcaps. And we had to park on a roof that had gravel on it. So I went there and took off one hubcap and put gravel in it, and I put that on the side that he was that was close to the wall when he was driving down from the roof, and that guy went back to the Ford dealer complaining that his car had a rattle, which was just. It's fun to put stuff in people's cars.
I had a friend that used to work at the American Motors plant in Milwaukee. For those of you who don't know who that is, American Motors used to build Ramblers, if you've ever heard of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Anyways, he worked on the body assembly line, and he would bring a beer with him to work every day, and have it for lunch. And then he would once in a while take the empty bottle and put it into the rocker panel before it is welded, and it would slide back and forth in the rocker
And
panel.
I can tell you for a fact that he wasn't the only one, because the entire crew did stuff like that, and
in those days,
that basically ruined sales for American Motors. That is a real thing. And the factory is later taken over by Tesla. So I'm wondering
No, American Motors went out of business long before Tesla even existed.
Yeah, but Tesla now owns the building. I think it was taken over by Toyota when American Motors.
American Motors had plants in Kenosha and Milwaukee. That's it.
I don't
Now-
understand any of
now,
these car terms.
The Jeep
because
did continue
it's
on.
kind of-
American Motors owned the Jeep brand, and the Jeep brand was bought by Dodge and Chrysler.
Hey, brum, brum.
And Dodge Chrysler was involved in a merger with Mercedes and somebody else, and then now Fiat. So it's been around, but American Motors was out of business in
Yeah, I
the
know.
80s.
I know.
Fair enough. Right.
I got one more, Dave.
Go on then.
So I had a coworker that I didn't particularly like, but we still spent time together. But he was just a dick, and basically what I did is try to annoy him. He bought a new Volkswagen Golf and boasted about it, and at I think about a week or two after he bought it, I was walking past. Now I need to be careful. A skip, because this is a British show and everyone else can Google what a skip is. And in this skip, there was an old blow-up doll that had a puncture. So we fixed it, then filled it with helium, and we put it underneath his car with a long piece of string. So in the morning, when he came to work, he didn't see that something was under his car. And when he drove off, it floated up into the air. And when he came to the company and he always parked his car in front of the manager's office. So at some point, the manager was staring outside, and there was a blow-up doll floating outside his window back and forth. That was a good one, too.
I like it.
I do. Nerdy says, the worst thing I've ever done to someone I considered a friend is to be on their questions show on YouTube. And Spooky says, I introduced them to critical questions. Ox says, sunk their boat. Chad says, pierced their ankle with a pitchfork. Lone Wanderer.
There's so many, but like some of them are evil, others are just like really sad situations. Like there was a guy that I considered a friend, but unfortunately, because I was in a higher role and I had to tell on him for doing something at work, and he got fired. And I felt really bad about it, but he shouldn't have been drinking on the job. You know.
I used to drink on the job.
Did you get fired?
Oh God!
Oh,
no,
actually, there's
is
another
this
one.
about his toilet seat again? Don't bother.
I drunk on that as well.
A friend I had in high school used to tell horrible stories about his ex-girlfriend. He used to say that they would have sex in a public toilet before they went to school every day. And after they broke up, she was saying, man, I wish I could just find a way to hate him. So I told her what he said about her.
Well, that'll solve the problem, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's like, why would you do that? I'm like, why would you do that?
You fucking said it, dickhead.
Exactly.
Badger.
Hello. What's the question?
What's the worst thing you have ever done to someone you considered a friend?
Does it have to be past tense considered?
Nope.
No.
All right. I once, not only did I go with them, but I literally drove this friend to the cinema to see The Last Jedi.
You consider that's a nice thing.
Yeah.
No, because Disney ruined it.
See?
Oh, you can't say that. You can't say nice things like that in front of Badger.
I ain't even saying it.
It doesn't matter what you think of the movie. What you actually did is do someone a favor because you drove them there. That's not terrible.
No.
It would have been terrible if you said you would drive them there, then drive as far away from human civilization, dump them, and then go back home. That.
If I tell someone that I'm going to drive them to the serial torture murder guy's house, and then I do, I haven't done them a favor because I told them beforehand.
Did they enjoy the film?
It was The Last Jedi. What do you think?
Lots of people enjoyed it.
Lots of cunts.
Badger.
Sorry, I'm going to get put in Twitter jail again.
Watchtower Watcher says, and gives us a super chat for $2 Australian. Thank you very much. Says, tried to
Thank you.
convert them or slept with their partner.
Ooh.
This the same time? Or?
Which order?
What I wanted to know at the same time.
Which order?
Did they find out about either?
If you want something that you're not going to pretend is not a terrible thing, I once hit a friend of mine in the face with a rock.
Oh,
Oh, why?
But why?
On
'Cause
purpose?
He was in the way of where I threw it.
So it wasn't intentionally.
No. I threw the rock.
intent is everything here.
So
I was
basically, your friend did a terrible thing to you because you were throwing a rock, and he prevented you from doing that by walking into the rock. So he did a terrible thing.
I was trying to throw this. It was a really big, chunky piece of slate. I was trying to frisbee it down a hill, and I slightly misjudged the angle, and my friend slightly misjudged his standing location, and I hit him directly in the forehead with this frisbeeing piece of slate.
Oh my god.
You should never throw things. When I was 12, I got a boomerang and I threw it, and it didn't come back, and I've been living in fear ever since.
It'll be showing up knocking on your door with a suitcase.
I'm pretty sure it's landed by now.
Could you imagine it's like, Peter, why didn't you come back for me? It's out of the dark.
Who's ringing?
Nobody.
Me. Next.
It's actually me phoning Peter. Peter, can you hear me? Pick up, please, Peter. Your
Hello?
voicemail is shit. Hello, Peter.
Yes.
Listen, you've just done a really long-winded story about cars,
Yes.
but at no point did you use the word Volvo.
No, because I've changed from Volvo to Wolseley, because then I'm going to confuse
To
you.
what?
Because you don't know what
Wolseley?
Yeah, but the thing is, Dave's really struggling for viewers, so if you say Volvo, we'll get a laugh.
No, I'm going to say Wolseley.
Why would we get a laugh from Volvo?
Oh, who the fuck knows? It's still.
Dave, sorry, Peter, they can hear us. Hang up.
Do you know where smart cars come from?
I'm hanging up.
Smart cars are the result of an accident between a Ford Probe and a Volvo.
Are you serious?
Right, next question.
I haven't answered.
You did. You did
No, I
answer.
didn't.
All right, you
No,
commented
I
on Peter's.
I told you a
for
story
long
about a
time.
friend.
Oh, go on then.
I had this friend who was this just obnoxious health exercise freak
Is it me?
that just pestered the hell out of everybody by, oh, you should exercise, and I'm so good because I exercise. Blah, blah,
Wait a
blah,
minute.
blah,
This
blah.
isn't a story where you just replaced or added trans fats to their food till they were 3 times the size.
No, no. So one day he was dropping his car off at my shop, and what he would do is we would work on the car, and while we were working on the car, he would go take his bike and go for a big long bike ride, and then come back and pick up his car and go home, which was just fine. But he was particularly obnoxious that day. And he's one of those bikers, one of those kind of biker guys who wore all the lycra spandex kind of stuff, and balls are hanging out there and all that annoying stuff. And so I took a big load of this old ancient axle grease that we had that was just this ugly brown color, and I put it on his seat. And he got on his bike and rode off, and then came back. And looked like he shit in his pants. It was really funny. And he didn't notice.
He didn't notice.
I'm sure he did when he got home, but
Yes. You probably got it everywhere.
that's the most evil thing I've ever done. So
Right. Next question.
I did have one more.
You did?
Yeah, I recently DM'd a friend and I said, "Are you awake?" And they responded to me barely. and then I had them help install a script on someone's computer, and neither of us checked whether or not the script was enabled. So we spent about an hour reorganizing someone's computer. I thought that was pretty bad, wasn't it, Dave?
I was pretty at 4 o'clock in the fucking morning.
Oh, but you won't talk to me at 2 in the morning.
You want to have complicated conversations.
Oh, programming the whole script business isn't complicated.
What time was it when I called you? It was anywhere.
It was after 4 when I went to sleep, and it was about an hour, so it was probably about 10 past 3-ish.
Yeah, I think so too.
Hang on a second. Hang on a damn second here, Peter, you dirty European. So you phone him at stupid hours in the morning, and then
No, I didn't phone him. I sent him a DM.
And then you pretend to me that you're a fucking expert. You bad fucking dick.
That's another terrible thing that I do to friends. I pretend to be an expert and tell them things.
I see what you're doing. This is why we left the EU.
And he told me he didn't want to talk about complicated geopolitical topics at 2 in the morning.
To be fair, this was to go and vaguely chat with Aaron and get. He told stories while we were trying to fix the script.
Yes, yes.
Not that I'm name dropping or anything.
Nope.
I know Aaron Ra.
Aaron Ra doesn't make a video for my birthday.
I think the funniest thing that I've had is I was early for one of his shows, and that's where he was doing a video with the voice of Nephilim Free. I can't tell what happened, but that was extremely funny.
Banda says, made my friend come on my channel at 11 p.m. his time to watch me get drunk. To be fair, that was quite funny, although you were very, very gushy. If you enjoyed that, please hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. If you think you've got a better answer or just want to tell us how wrong we are, leave a comment down below. Subscribe down here for new questions every day, and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on our live shows. If you click over here, you'll see our latest upload. Over here, for what YouTube thinks you'll love the most. And finally, for a complete playlist of all our currently released questions, click here.